Zeus. Zeus. What happened to you, buddy? Oh my. Somebody got a haircut.
So the boat's back in the water finally, and we're out on a mooring. Still mastless, but hey, we're in the water. And look, over there, sailing Uma. How cool is that? Right across from us. Yeah.
That's them. Should we go say hi?
I think we should.
Yeah?
Do you want to go say hi?
We should say hi.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Last time on Sailing Balachandra, I rebuilt our wet rudder. These shoes are water shoes from Aleader. They were kind enough to send us some free pairs to try out. Thanks, guys.
Hey, Susie. Taking a nap? Yeah. Hey, Dan.
Hi.
How you liking those new kicks?
These are pretty sweet. They fit right away when I first put them on, which is pretty sweet. And they're really comfortable so far. I like them. And they're good on deck. You can walk around on the boat and you don't slip.
First time out. Susie's first sail, and he's been sleeping most of the time. I really wore him out. Wore us out. Let's walk. Hey, Susie. I am loving these shoes. I love that they breathe. My feet are sweating. There's no laces. They fit snug. Great grip for the deck. Yeah, so far, very happy. Zeus.
These shoes are great. Water shoes are shoes that dry quickly and are great for the summer. If you get them wet, they dry within minutes. You can follow the link in the description below. Visit Aleader, check out their shoes, and you can use the discount code Balachandra15.
Hey guys, so we just brought our life raft in to get serviced, and I removed the old hydrostatic release, and I want to see if it actually works. This one is dated 2013, so just for all you out there who want to know if an expired hydrostatic release actually still will release your life raft, let's find out. You ready? That's about as deep as I can go with the pole here. Well, let's see if it worked. Still attached. Your life raft might have to be really deep in the water before it can actually release if your boat was sinking. So you want to get it deep enough that the water pressure causes it to release. I think what it boils down to is get a new hydrostatic release when your hydrostatic release is expired. This rope is supposed to cut when this is submerged. I just submerged it in about 7 feet of water. We tried out the hydrostatic release yesterday on the boat hook and it didn't work. So I tried it again, but the sun went down, so I didn't get a video of it. But I tried it on a little anchor that I have for the dinghy and 25 feet of rope. And look, it actually worked, but it had to go down at least 25 feet underwater in order to actually activate and for the little blade in here to cut this wire, which is what releases your life raft like that. So this one's expired. I think they're supposed to work in shallower water, so if you have an expired one, it might actually work, but your boat has to go pretty far down. So if you sink in shallow water, your life raft might not deploy. So it's a rainy day here at the boatyard. I'm working on the keel bolts today. All right, so here's what I got done so far. I was able to remove this keel bolt, and it turns out the washers underneath this keel bolt were actually made out of aluminum, which is really not cool because aluminum won't last very long. Anyway, it was looking pretty bad, so those are gone. So once I had removed the washers, there was also kind of a gasket under here that was old and deteriorated. Now that I've sanded and cleaned this up, and I used a Dremel tool and really like dressed it up nice so I can put some G-Flex on there. So here's my chemical resistant board, and I've already drawn on the shape that I want to cut. The surface of the fiberglass is uneven, so I'm going to use some thickened G-Flex epoxy underneath this to level it until that epoxy's dried, and then I can put the washers and the bolt back on and torque it all down. And here are the washers I picked up from McMaster Car in the United States. You can see it says 316. These are 316 stainless steel. And then the bolt will go on top of that. And then I torque all this down using a torque wrench to a specified torque. In order to meet that torque, I have to use a torque multiplier. Okay, so I was able to get this chemical resistant fiber board, coated the underside of it with a lot of thickened epoxy, and then I pushed it down so it would find its level. And to keep the epoxy from bleeding in and touching the keel bolt, which would be really bad because it would just like freeze this keel bolt in place, I made a cellophane cylinder here where I just took a piece of cellophane and then stuck it down over the cone. It's really important not to tighten your keel bolts until after all this is cured up, and starting with removing this cellophane cone, then a washer, and then the nut. So I'm ready to tighten that first keel bolt back in place. Let me show you what I got done here. So things look a little bit different now. I painted some polyurethane paint over top. So I've mounted a few things here. There's a rubber washer, 3/16 stainless steel washers. Basically, I'm ready to start tightening these guys down and bring it up to its torque specification. All right, so I'm just finishing off the last two keel bolts down in the bottom of the bilge. This is the lowest part of my bilge right here. It's about 2.5 feet down, but I've been able to do it just at arm's length. I've doubled up 2 machined 1/2-inch stainless steel washers that I had machined at a machine shop. Remarkably, the ones that I removed from here were, believe it or not, aluminum. I'm surprised the keel was staying on with that. So first, I'm going to use this large deep socket, and just to get it started, I'm just going to use a standard ratchet. I'll just hand tighten that to a certain point, and then when I'm ready, I'll use the torque multiplier. Basically just getting the nut down onto the washers at this point. This is the ratchet that I originally showed you. Here's an extension bar, and that is the torque multiplier. And then this is my adjustable torque wrench. I turn this to adjust which particular foot-pounds I need for this bolt. I believe this one is 300 foot-pounds. This torque multiplier is a 4-to-1 ratio. That means it will magnify the amount of torque that I can apply by hand 4 times. Therefore, I can get this up to, 300, 350 pounds easy. So if I go down here and look at the gauge here, I'm aiming for 90 pounds on the torque wrench, which multiplies by 4. And because I'm using Tef gel, you're supposed to remove 10%. So the math goes 400 pounds of pressure minus 10%, which is 40 pounds, and then divided by 4 is 90 pounds. So all I need to do is torque this guy up to 90 pounds, and I'm done. Keel bolts are all done.
Good day.
Yeah, like we finally got the boat back together. The refit's finished. It was like a really big refit. We did a lot of stuff, like the keel. We did the We did the lazy jacks. The biggest thing was rebuilding the rudder. That was in our last video. And like countless other things. Like we've just been working so hard, and I feel bad that we haven't videotaped it all, but no, we've been busy.
Next time on Sailing Balachandra, we prepare the boat for Hurricane Dorian.